Hey everyone out there. I am here with the July feature, and this is my sister Danielle.
Hello.
So, what I want to talk about today is traveling with kids because this is a subject that I have in my forum. I've had no one talk about traveling with kids yet. so,
Mhm.
so you have a 2 year old,
Yes, I do.
and you traveled with him a couple times.
Yes, I've traveled with him twice now.
And I mean, well, okay, you've done more than twice, but I guess, well, on the airplane.
Well, on a plane, yes, I've traveled with him twice, and by car, I think about twice as well.
So, how was it, I guess, the first time that you traveled with him? Like, what was that like preparing to travel with a child?
Um, it was pretty difficult, I guess. It's just like how you have to pack everything, even like just taking your child with you to the store. You have to, get his diaper bag, make sure you have extra clothes, diapers, wipes, etc., snacks, food, milk. The first time I traveled with him, he was only, I think, 4 or 5 months old, and we were going to Maine for the night. So, um, yeah, I had to make sure I had extra clothes for him, extra food, extra everything. But overall, it wasn't too bad because he was so young.
What about the first time that um, you went on an airplane with him? Like, what was that process like? How was like going through security? What was the flight like?
Honestly, it was. I'm not gonna say it was bad, but it was very challenging because at that time he was only 1.5, so he wanted to do his own thing. He wanted to run everywhere, and traveling with just me and him and no help from anyone else. Um, it was pretty difficult, trying to get through security because he wanted to run somewhere else, or having to wait for our ride to pick us up from the airport. And even on the plane, on our way to Louisiana that time, he was okay and he ended up falling asleep. But on the way back home to Massachusetts, it was a struggle trying to keep him busy and keep him from crying and wanting to get up constantly.
Okay, so what was, I guess, a way to like subdue him and keep him calm?
Well, on the planes, they had TVs on the back of the seats, so I would have him watch that. Um, I would pre-download shows on my phone for him to watch, at least like five. I would bring toys. I would bring coloring books, um, and that's pretty much, I mean, all you can do.
Do you think he had any issue with like the altitude and like the ear popping?
No, he didn't have an issue at all, surprisingly.
From that trip, the one to Louisiana to the one to Costa Rica and Panama, how is that different?
Oh, that was different because now that he's two, he can function a whole lot more, and he really just wanted to do his own thing the entire time. He wants to go back and forth between seats, and he wants to get up and run and explore and look around, which, I mean, you can't really blame him. He's two, and that's what 2-year-olds do. But um, it was much more challenging trying to keep him busy enough to the point where he won't be distracting others.
Yes, that was a challenge. Okay, so now that he's two, actually, so Oh, and there he is. And so this was like the first time that you had to pay for him.
Yes.
And what was that like? And do you think you'll do that again with someone so young but having to pay like it's not a full price, it's like 3/4 of the price, but it's still, enough money.
I mean, yeah, especially if like, I'm traveling out of the country, it's worth it. I don't usually travel by plane too much, so but if I had to pay again for him or another child so young, I think it's worth it. I mean, it's a way to travel, and you have to do what you have to do.
So what advice would you give to mothers of young children who want to travel?
I would just say, if you can, have someone to travel with you, I guess. If you're able to. If you're not able to, just make sure you bring as many toys and, like, coloring books, food, snacks, anything if there's something specific that usually distracts your child, bring anything you can, because between waiting for your plane, being on the plane, and waiting for like your ride to get to your destination, or even if you're traveling by car, the kids get really fussy and they want to get up and move around. So just bring as many things as you can to keep them busy and happy.
With the first plane ride you did, you brought like a stroller. Like, what is that whole process like? Because I mean, that doesn't count as something. Like, it doesn't count as your carry-on or whatever, right? So
for that, I took his stroller. I forgot what they call it, but like on boarding the plane, there's a specific space designed for strollers, wheelchairs, like any type of assistant devices, and you just make sure you get them tagged with your name on it and whatnot. Fold up the stroller and put it to the side, and the people will take it down and they kind of like board it under the plane. So when you get off the plane, they have it there ready for you.
But you don't like have to pay for it?
No, you do not have to pay for it. Unless you have a really bulky stroller, they will make you check that. But otherwise, if it's like a decent size or smaller, you'll be able to have it as carry-on.
Okay. What would you say is the ideal age, I guess, for a child to travel?
I think, even though my son's not there yet, I think I'd say 3, because they have a little bit more self-control, and they know better. They know more when you tell them to, like, please sit down, or keep your voice down. So I'd say 3.
Okay, so 3 and then up, and then like, what about below that? Because he was fine as like an infant.
Yes. So okay, I would say 3 and up, and if not that, maybe like 1 and under, like just turning 1 and under.
Do you think like maybe planes would probably the most challenging form of travel for such a young person?
Definitely, yes, because there's so many people around you that can easily not like what your child's doing, and even though you can only control so much of that, you really want to respect others, and it's hard to do that with a toddler. I think the easiest way to travel is like with your own car. That way your child's more comfortable in his or her setting.
Right. And do you think do you think any other form of travel would be okay? I mean, I feel like maybe a bus would probably be the same as a plane.
Yeah.
But maybe I don't know if a train would be slightly better, even though it's, I mean, still like a lot of people, it's more space.
Yeah, I think a train would be okay. I have honestly never even been on a train, but just hearing about it, I think it'd be better than a bus or a plane. Yes.
Gee whiz, I never thought of that. Like, we have to get you on a train then.
Yeah.
I've ridden on a train so many times. Okay. So, is there anything else you'd like to share about traveling with kids?
I mean, my only advice is really to just make sure they have enough to keep them happy and satisfied, because otherwise it's going to be very, very difficult to keep them happy and keep everyone around you happy, including yourself. So definitely bring as much as you can. Have shows, movies, songs downloaded onto your phone beforehand, anything you possibly can. And I feel like if you do all that and bring like their favorite snacks, you should be okay.
I think know your child would be another.
Well, yeah, yes.
Another good one.
Yeah.
Thank you very much for giving us, sharing with us your experiences and giving some tips, because I know for myself, I don't plan on having kids stop me from traveling,
Yeah.
but that's very, but that's somewhat of an ideal view, because I know who knows what could happen. I could have this really rambunctious person. So it might be difficult. So, but yes, I know a lot of people that get kids are supposed to fit into your life, not you fitting into theirs and them running your life. But sometimes you have to know, the situation and know the personality you have and and what they can handle and what age they can handle it. So
Yes.
thank you very much.
You're welcome.
And I'm sure everyone will enjoy the pictures that you share.